Genesis 39 and verse 9, Joseph is being tempted by Potiphar's wife. And he says, "How then can I do this great wickedness and sin against God?" And so it was as she spoke to Joseph day by day. They did not heed her, to lie with her, to be with her. But it happened about this time when Joseph went into the house to do his work, and none of the men of the house was inside, that she caught him by his garment, saying, "Lie with me." But he left his garment in her hand and fled and ran outside. Can you imagine how big of a temptation that must have been for Joseph? Can't you hear Satan's reasoning? You know, you've been mistreated. Your brothers, they hated you out of jealousy. They threw you into a pit and sold you into slavery. And then they told your father that you've been killed by an animal. Nobody's going to know. Nobody's in the house. You know, you're far away from home. You're way down south in Egypt. In fact, everybody's doing it. Egypt was just full of sexual immorality. In fact, he's not just an anybody in Egypt. He's a somebody. He's head of Potiphar's house, who was a high official in Egypt. And so he's in charge of all that he has. Wouldn't that include his wife? And if you think about it, Potiphar would have been a busy man. Maybe his wife just needed somebody to love her. In fact, she's the superior, and it's his job to keep her happy. And if he didn't, he could lose his job. But I want you to notice what it was about Joseph that caused him to be able to resist and flee this temptation. Day by day, he concerned himself with what pleased God. And so despite the rationality, despite the norm of the day, despite what she wanted or her persistence, and despite maybe even what he wanted, he knew it was wrong, and if he sinned, he was going to sin against God. And so whatever temptation we may be facing, we need to understand that if we fall into that temptation, then we're going to be sinning against God. So we, just like Joseph, need to resist and flee the temptation.